Dude, with my ADHD, dude, I give it. It's like it's spreadable to Daniel. I always fuck with him. I just throw him off on like 90 other topics, and he's just like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck were we talking about?" It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I like to jump back and forth and connect to the topics,
Hmm.
because they do connect, like you're saying. Like, I mean, it's all connected. It's all the
It's
same fucking.
all the same fucking shit. You know, the right wing, left wing are still the same fucking plane.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, they both get so sucked into their bullshit dogma, and you just can't talk them out of it.
Nope. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Is it Sunday?
I don't know.
No,
It's not Sunday. Hey
No,
it's like
guys. Hey,
Tuesday.
let's all
I have my
pretend.
little angel today, so it's Wednesday.
Gotcha. Let's all pretend that
Oh
we
yeah.
don't
Okay.
communicate outside of when the internet allows us to communicate. Hey, how was your holidays, guys?
It was wonderful.
I got COVID.
Stupendous.
You got COVID?
Everybody did.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everybody got COVID.
You gonna
Like,
make it?
gotta get that herd immunity. I don't know.
Yeah.
I still got
Well,
still
if
got
you
the
go
cough.
if you go grab that Sudafed bottle, it covers all those sicknesses you had from COVID.
Yeah, that's
Stuffy,
what I've
achy.
been treating it like a flu.
All
Yeah.
right. What episode number is this, Dave?
I don't know. 69er.
69 sounds good to me. Nick, are you lethargic tonight?
Every night. So yes.
Yeah, Nick lethargic. Yeah, man, it's 2022. I think I told both of you guys I had the great privilege of eating a fistful of psilocybin the other night and watching Death to 2021 on Netflix. Have either of you had a chance to check that out?
Nope.
Watched the previews and it looked pretty terrible. I didn't. We didn't. I didn't watch it.
No, you got,
It-
dude, watch Death to 2021 because it does what I love, which is it makes fun of everybody, like everybody from every point of view. I think they even called us out by name and made fun of us, and it was funny. But once my medicine started kicking in, and like it had me dying laughing, like right into it, like the first few seconds of it, and then for the rest of it, I have a hernia now. So yeah, watch it because it's like I don't know, man. Have you guys noticed? Like, have you guys been trying to unplug from the internet a little bit naturally lately?
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely have. Yeah.
Yep.
Who told you guys to do that?
My
Uh,
mom.
Really? Right. What about you, man, Dave?
I don't know. I just got tired of the bullshit. I used to do a lot of political stuff, and I'm just not beat for it no more. And I'll go in there for like what is it? Quotes for dope dope souls. And usually they have some good like little sayings in there. I'll post a few a day for spiritual stuff and for people to try and get their shit together, and then I'll just bounce.
Yeah.
I just don't go on it really much anymore. I don't give a shit what people are doing. I don't give a shit about none of that stuff. I don't want to hear what kind of ice cream you ate today, or you know, that I just, yeah, I'm not beat for it no more.
Quality of life going up a little bit away
Yeah,
from screens.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I got too much real life shit going on. So
So did you just naturally do it to? Because I know I'm. That's what I'm doing. Like naturally, something was telling you just that there's something toxic going on in the internet.
Yeah, well, a good friend of mine told me to delete Messenger and see how I do for a week, and I did. Just keep it on my
Yeah.
computer, and I don't give a shit who's messaging me anymore. I'll check it like every few days now, and yeah, I don't,
Mm.
and
What
with
about you?
that, I don't check anymore. I'm not picking up my phone and going on there.
Uh,
But
Nick,
yeah,
how long you been
Yeah.
leaning off of it?
I decided to do a no YouTube challenge for a month, and I made it about a week before I started popping
that's a
back on the past
that's a
couple
tough
days.
one.
But
Th-
yeah, yeah, because there's just so much,
Yeah,
like
well, it also depends
tutorials
on
and everything.
what you're using YouTube for. You know, in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
opinion.
I do a lot of trolling, so
Oh, okay, you're that guy.
I was mainly taking a break from that.
Gotcha, gotcha.
But
Now,
then after all the January 6th stuff, I had to see all the bullshit they were saying about January 6th. Kind of
January
made me
6th, January 6th.
yeah,
What?
Worse
No,
than Pearl Harbor. Yeah.
I am.
yeah, yeah,
This is
exactly.
okay.
It's so
Just
fucking
for
crazy.
clarification, this is my purpose here. I do not want to watch the news anymore. So you guys are like my filter. So what
Oh,
happened
God.
January 6th? I mean, I may have heard certain things. So if you tell me certain parts, I'll be
Yeah,
like, oh, okay. But what happened
the
January 6th?
the biggest insurrection in history.
Oh, is this when that elk took the Capitol? The spray painted elk guy?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
when the police let them into the Capitol and
What?
then escorted them to the desk so they could take pictures,
All
and
right.
the
So what?
police even photobommed them.
So what was all that about?
A bunch of federal operatives needed something to do. I mean, it was a total fucking false flag, I think.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, they had all these feds just usher people in, and people the whole time people were like, no, we don't need to go to the Capitol, we don't need to go to the Capitol, and they just managed to get a small group of people to storm the Capitol, and then they had like Capitol Police, like one guy died of a stroke after the fact, and all this shit, and they're saying like these people were killed during the insurrection. And yeah, Kamala Harris went on, and they did a whole show on January 6th, and Kamala Harris went on, like Dave was saying, and said it was like, oh, the day that'll live in infamy. There are days like Pearl Harbor and 9/11 and January 6th.
This was
And
the worst.
So let me make sure I
yeah,
got this right.
yeah,
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it supposed to start off like a Trump rally or something in the Capitol?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and
so
Yeah.
a
but
bunch of
they're trying
people,
to
a
yeah they're
bunch of
trying
people
to
went to
nail Trump
DC.
and the Republicans and stuff with it.
Okay, so a whole bunch of Trump supporters went to DC to protest what? That he lost the election?
Yeah, that was when they were doing the official count, and so
Okay,
And all the
and
yeah,
discrepancies and everything that was going on.
yeah,
yeah,
So there was also I did see video of four buses pull up with Antifa people,
uh-huh.
and there was videos also of them changing in the bushes and putting on like Trump gear and shit. And if they had their hats backwards, they were Antifa. And then they have other videos of them trying to like break the windows of the Capitol thing, and then you have all the Trump supporters arrest him. That's Antifa. Get
yes,
him the fuck off the building and all kinds of shit
yep,
like that. And the cops are just like, nothing to see here. So
yep. And then they open the doors for the people and shut and
yes,
like shuffle them in.
Okay, when you say they, you mean federal agents and
The
yes,
government
Capitol
workers?
Police.
yep.
The Capitol Police. Okay, so there was
Yeah,
basically a pro and telco group within this Trump group that were actually their well
there
Instigators.
were there were infiltrators and
agent
instigators too.
agent provocateurs and
Yeah, sure.
crisis actors, all that good stuff. These were not
Yes,
authentic Trump supporters, is what you guys are saying.
correct.
Okay.
What's the name of the guy that everybody's saying now? I can't remember his name. Rob something. I don't know.
Is that the one that ratted out his brother?
No, no, it was the guy that everybody was saying. There's like videos of them saying this guy's a Fed, this guy's a Fed, and like and he kept saying, you know what, guys, we should go to the Capitol. We should go storm
I
the
did
Capitol,
see that.
guys. We
Yeah.
should go storm, and and everybody's like Fed, 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 chanting
I
Fed.
did see that. Yep.
Yeah.
and he didn't get arrested, and yeah, his name's off the list of people. So
Okay, so
that's what the big meme right now.
so
I can't remember his name though.
you're calling false flag on this whole stupid thing by the
Yeah,
federal
yeah.
government for what? Why would what's the motivation to do
uh,
this?
to go after Trump supporters, and there's some of them are still locked up. They went after them hardcore after that, like the people that just showed up and no weapons, no nothing, and these people are being held like terrorists. Sidney Powell put stuff on Telegram all the time about these guys and did like a whole memorial thing, like basically like a whole wall of all the people that were locked up. If you go on our Telegram
Mhm.
account, and it's just like normal people like us that just went there, wanted their voices heard, and they locked these guys like under the jail and given them like extreme like circumstances like you wouldn't even do for a dog. It's just bad.
So the motivation was to target certain individuals among Trump supporters, or basically make all Trump supporters look.
They wanted
Well, I
us to
think
look like racist and stuff like that. So
yeah, and they well, I mean, it's like with anything, it's a power grab. They're looking for justification to to change election laws, to
mhm.
change Senate laws and stuff like that. But the big thing they're pushing now is they're trying to get rid of the filibuster and try to just do like straight majority rules in the Senate. So
Oh, that's
it's
not. Yeah, that's never worked out for any
that's the
civilization
whole
ever.
the whole point of our structure of government is for it not
Right.
to be majority rules. But yeah,
Okay, so whenever we're saying they and we're trying to be good little Sherlock Holmeses and figure out why they are doing it and who they are, we're not talking about Democrats, we're not talking about Republicans, we're talking about an ideological,
yeah, like
huh?
the deep staters, like the deep state, whatever you want to call it. I
The
mean, I don't know.
elites.
I think they're all Freemasons.
Okay, so deep state is a term I've heard thrown around in the Trump years off and on. So I'm guessing that's another word for like the Illuminati, or basically a group of
Yeah,
people
true.
who all share a certain philosophy, and we ain't in them. We ain't we we're not considered highly in their philosophy.
The ones that are pushing Agenda 21, which is
Okay.
basically depopulate the world 85% by the year 2030.
Okay.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So that happened on January 6th. So what
Yeah,
what
and I mean it's just a big smoke and mirrors thing. Like there's bigger stuff going on, like the DARPA emails leak with Fauci. Y'all hear about that?
Oh
no.
yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, okay, so Fauci, he's like the guy who created COVID, right?
Pretty,
It's like,
yes, actually, he is.
Yeah,
oh, okay, really?
and
Okay.
AIDS.
So he's some doctor that talks for he's the marketing agent for COVID. Got it. So
Yeah,
what's up with DARPA and what?
yeah. You've heard of Project Veritas?
No.
Yes.
What is that?
Uh, they're like a journalist group that they do I don't know, how would you describe them?
They infiltrate everybody. They'll like jump in on a CNN phone call, like a conference call between the inner people, and they'll just be like talking about what stories they're gonna make up and this and that, and the dude's recording it like the whole time and shit. And they just actually raided them and took all his information, all about
Yeah,
the diary of Hunter Biden's daughter or whatever. What wasn't it, the daughter or
yeah,
granddaughter?
yeah. It's one of Joe Biden's granddaughters. I don't know if it's Hunter Biden, but she has a diary, and in the diary she talks about inappropriate showers with Joe Biden,
Oh no.
and Project Veritas was trying to get it verified, and
And they
so
never did.
they couldn't get it verified, and they were like, well, we want to return it to the proper owner. They got it through a source, and we want to return it to the proper owner, such and such, but they wouldn't take it because then that would verify it, and that's what we were trying to do. And
Yep.
so the FBI raids them, and then they take their like privileged attorney-client documents and stuff and give it to the New York Times.
Yeah.
And yeah, the New York Times got what I can't remember the name of what like the order, but they got denied that like they got stated that they were doing wrongdoing by a federal judge. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal.
Yep.
That sounds pretty big. How recent is this?
That was very
Past couple months
Oh wow.
before Christmas, the raid happened.
And so
Oh,
how does Dr. COVID come in with DARPA leaks?
Oh, okay. So, so the Veritas people got these DARPA emails. They're basically saying that the Chinese were trying to get DARPA to fund their research into giving bats coronavirus and then releasing them into the wild, and then just seeing what happens. And DARPA said, no, that's too dangerous. We're not going to do that. And then the NIH went on to fund it. And now they have emails that prove it.
Okay.
Wasn't that the $319 million that just got funneled? Didn't I just see something about that today, actually?
I don't know. I didn't see that. I don't know. My brain's still foggy from the damn bat virus.
Hold on, let me check my
can't
Facebook.
hardly
I think
think
I
straight.
shared that one.
Okay.
All right, give me 1 second.
But I don't know if you've heard Fauci saying, "Oh, we didn't fund gain of function research," and blah 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 blah. Hopefully, he's going to fry on this.
Gain of function research. What is that? I don't watch this crap.
Go ahead, Nick.
Like the idea. I mean, it's a pretty broad term, but the idea is you're taking a virus and manipulating it so that it'll be like more transmissible or more deadly or this or that.
Yeah,
gaining a function.
It'll make it so that a virus that only infects like bats can now mutate and infect humans.
Okay, so you're leveling up a virus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and the thing I seen about the 319 million, Bill Gates caught funneling 319 million to media to brainwash the public.
I didn't hear about that. There's like something that directly says he was trying to brainwash the public.
Yeah. So
I mean, we all know about
articles, all that shit.
Yeah, Operation Mockingbird.
Wow.
And, the feds being in the media and everything.
Okay, Jesus, man, it's
the
all
bullshit never ends.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
What else? Is there any other notable things in 2021 that I slept through?
I'm sure. You did a lot of sleeping.
I do, man. Here lately, especially during, I don't know what it is, but Dave can attest to it for the past 4 years. Every time it starts to get fall and into winter, I literally hibernate. I don't know what it is. I do everything I can to have a normal sleep cycle, but in the wintertime, I might as well be Vlad Tipish because that sun's up, it ain't happening. I mean, I get things done, thank God. Understand, but
well, when you wake up at 8 in the evening,
yeah, because it's quiet and nobody's blowing me up, so I can get crap done. What else, man? Anything else in 2021 that I missed?
I don't know. There's a meteor that's like really close to the Earth or something.
All right. Well, okay. I got questions.
It's a couple billion miles away.
Have I seen what?
Have y'all seen Don't Look Up?
Yes, that's fantastic.
Nope.
I thought it was fantastic. I felt
close to the shit they're trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, I know that was supposed to be like a COVID parallel, but in general, it was.
It was a cell phone.
Yeah, it was a new idiocracy, and it was accurate to today because I could literally see that happening.
Yeah, it was better than it deserved to be.
Idiocracy was a documentary.
It really was. Yeah, man. Jesus.
It's so bad.
All right. Well, I got terms that came across my consciousness, and I don't know.
Electrolytes.
I know that now in society, especially in internet culture, the First Amendment is an endangered species. You know what I mean? So I've heard some hot button words or terms or new things, and I don't really keep up with it. So I want to know what some terms are. First, I want to know.
Chocolate starfish.
I got that one. That was a Limp Bizkit album or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. What does woke mean?
This
I want to
again?
know. I don't want to know. I want a clear definition of what woke means. Because I don't know if I'm supposed to be offended if I'm called woke, if I'm supposed to, get aggressive about being called woke, or am I not? Is woke good? Is woke
It
bad? I mean, I could tell you what I would speculate it being with no preface,
It
right?
depends on who's saying it.
yeah.
You know.
Okay, so now it's a changeable word depending on the context. Great. So this is going to be like
Yeah,
nailing
yeah.
jelly to a wall.
One of
All right. What's woke mean?
Basically, the sheep are claiming that they're woke, but they're controlled by the government. And yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Nick, yeah, you
Sh-
got to take this one.
Sheep are
the.
okay. So
So woke is a meme for people who want to claim that they're awake and aware of what's going on. So
but
like
they're
you're
not
saying, "Oh, I'm woke,"
okay. But you're not
but
really.
yeah, it's kind of evolved to the point to where people use it and aren't accurate. It's mainly an insult now. Where they'll say like you're woke, you're acting woke because like like in the media where you have like injected diversity and that kind of thing. And so like you have diversity for diversity's sake rather
Yeah.
than for an
Yeah.
actual reason.
Yeah.
That's woke culture. People say that's woke culture that stems from. So like people are just trying to be virtue signaling, that kind of thing. Like
Mhm.
they're woke. Like you have to be aware of all the social hierarchies and
Which
the
is
way that
impossible. Just so
yeah,
people know
it's
that.
like right. So people and it kind of stems from like people
Go woke,
taking
get broke.
sociology courses in college.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's where the insult comes in because people will have like woke media and it doesn't perform well. They don't make the money, so you get woke, go broke. Um,
So the first
so
thought that pops in my head and tell me is this movie would this movie under the definition that we're using right now would this movie be woke when I say it? Captain Marvel, is that a woke movie?
yeah, 100. Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
Yeah,
why is Captain Marvel a woke movie?
because the way the character's written, she's a total Mary Sue. Like she can't do anything wrong, yet in the movie she breaks the guy's arm and steals his motorcycle. But that's shown as being okay because she's a woman, a Captain Marvel.
Okay, is that about right, Dave? Woke.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so
It,
woke.
it gets worse, actually.
Okay, I need to
Yeah,
understand
it
this.
always gets worse.
Well, I need to understand this, and that's fine.
Okay,
So
all the sports affiliations that started going got woke with
Yeah,
the
that's a
BLM
good.
movement and kneeling. NFL, everybody stopped watching because the majority of America does not believe that the system is racist. You only have a handful of racist assholes out there, and and this is even from my black friends. They're sick of it too. And basically, they start doing a movement, which everybody was behind the BLM movement until they started killing black people and burning down their businesses. And then
Mm.
nobody could follow behind it. And they're now you got the NFL and everybody else still painting Black Lives Matter on NHL ice and everybody kneeling during the national anthem, which I think is totally disrespectful to the people that made our country. And so all the Patriots and everybody else that were longtime watchers, we just walked away.
all right, so
Just
let me
walk,
make sure I understand.
go
So
woke, get broke.
okay, so woke is basically it's a group of people or a collective of people, okay,
An
who
ideology.
an ideology that believes that it's more aware
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
another swath of people who believe that they're not. So what I'm saying is so now the term woke means bad. So when I'm being called woke, that's somebody's making a derogatory remark. Now I know my
Depends
relation.
on who you're talking to,
Okay, well, I
basically.
mean, when I was called woke, I
Because
was like,
if there's somebody that yeah,
yeah, when I was
if there's
set,
somebody that like thinks it's sorry, go
no,
ahead,
no,
sorry.
go ahead.
Well, if it's somebody that thinks it's a good thing, like they're like say they're part of the Black Lives Matter thing and everything, and they're calling you woke, then they're saying, "Oh man, you're woke." That's good,
I see things
But
their way.
it's like they're saying you see it their way. But if they're using it as a pejorative, then they're accusing you of being part of the ideology, the cult that they don't like.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure now I can understand the context of the person, or the context of me being called what that person was using it in a derogatory manner. Okay.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, probably so. Because I don't even know what any of this means. You know what I'm saying? So this is the thing with me in titles. If you have a title for something, I am not it. You know
You
what I
need
mean?
a title.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm the opposite.
whenever I'll get into that later, but so it's like I don't I don't understand. Typically, if I see a majority, even if it's 50-50, if I see large groups backing an ideology, I know that there's something fishy.
Mm,
It always.
Yep.
yeah,
If an
that's
ideology
it.
if an ideology is being argued in a dualistic manner, there is something fundamentally wrong with the argument, because there's got to be a third way, a middle way, and it's always this very small minority. So that's kind of why I'm going, okay, woke. I could see that this is a binary good, bad, black and white thing, right? Woke. Either woke means good or woke be bad. Well, then me is just me. I go, okay, well, the people who are saying woke people aren't really woke, and they're saying woke in a derogatory manner. Aren't they insinuating that they in fact are woke, and therefore the term would be good because they're woker, right? Because in order to say this person's less conscious than me, you must be claiming that you have a higher consciousness or more aware or more awake, right? Or my
Yeah, it's just another hierarchy.
It's just another hierarchy or another labyrinth to get caught up in
Mm.
to exhaust energy and things. But okay,
Divide and conquer.
and you guys keep bringing up BLM and Black Lives Matter and the race issue with woke. So now I'm going to go ahead and assume that woke
Yeah.
is being tethered with the issue of Homo sapien races.
Yeah, that's kind of where it comes from. It's
Systematic racism.
from that critical race theory school of thought. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
The woke terminology, that kind of thing.
Okay, so now they're married. Now the term when a person who's used the word woke towards me in a derogatory manner, now somehow or another, because they're looking at me through that lens, they are automatically perceiving that I'm connecting race with whatever I'm talking about.
Yes,
Yes. Is that fair,
they're
Dave?
gonna assume you're viewing things through
It
like a
is
racial
now.
lens.
It didn't start out like that. At
Okay.
first, the Trump supporters were the woke ones, and then they kind of stole it somehow, and they were the woke ones because we understood the system was fucking everybody.
Mm.
Well, I think people were saying like wake people up, be awake and that kind of thing, and then you had the kind of critical race theory sociologist school of thought said woke, as like almost like an ebonics kind of thing, like making
Yeah,
their
they
own
stole
thing
it.
out of it. Yeah.
They stole it.
So rather than like being awake, like being spiritually minded, being awake, they're like that's why it's woke instead of awake.
The way
So it's
that
kind of like
the Trump
yeah.
supporter seen it was basically we were waking up to the idea that the big government is not going
Mm-hmm.
to, and the Trump movement about small government and keeping our rights and everything else, and then they just hijacked it to make it a racial thing, and yeah,
Right.
so
Okay. So basically now the word woke is basically just another tool to divide humans.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Because it was really confusing me because not too in the not too distant past, I was in my experience in this meat puppet on this planet, I had to interact with, oh boy, how do I describe this? I had to interact with a group of people who were, I guess, they originated from the Caucasus Mountains, so they were Caucasian, and they were really, really into Trump. Really into Trump. Now, you guys both know how I feel about all that. It's all a Netflix show anyway. You know what I mean? All that is the Democrat, Republican, president. All that stuff is a show. It's a corporation. It's not even actually the republic that was founded. It literally is a fucking show. I don't care. I can commentate and make, condescend, whatever. But anyway, they were really into Trump, and I started to feel icky in this crowd of people when now just to outright, I do not believe in races unless we're talking about inter-fucking stellar species. If you are Homo sapien on this planet and you are bipedal and you're sentient and you are Homo sapien, you're human. There are different ethnic groups and different cultures in my worldview from my reality. I do not believe in race. So therefore, I can't build any racist philosophy upon it. And I don't care what critical race theory would suggest otherwise. You can get the fuck out of here. I don't believe in races, so therefore that doesn't calculate into any of my thinking. However, I do recognize that there are people who are because they do believe in race and
Hmm.
they do view other individuals as separate from them in species based off of primitive inputs as sight and what they look like
Yeah.
or what they sound
Tribalism.
like.
I don't
Tribalism.
like white people.
Right. So so I can recognize when racism is occurring, right? And it leaves a bad fucking taste in my mouth, and I really don't want to associate with people like that because how am I going to evolve by interacting with you? you know, you're not adding anything. You're not giving me gain of function in my evolution if you still think you still think there are races, you know what I mean? But I started to pick up on comments that I'm sorry, you're fucking racist, man, right? It was
Mhm.
racist shit in these inner circles, you know, blue blood, Southern blue blood type things. And I'm like, I think I need to go take a fucking shower, you know.
Yeah, it's
But
pretty disgusting.
but what killed me was they would use the word woke in reference to themselves. And I was confused.
To themselves?
To
That's
themselves,
weird.
yeah, in reference to themselves, they would use the term woke. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm totally confused on what the word woke means now because
Well, and
my
that
neighbor
now I
Maurice,
am. How'd they
right.
know
No,
this?
they're thinking they're woke, that they know what's going on, that they know that they're using the race card as an element to like be woke, so to
I
say.
don't know. Well, it had me boggled. I don't know.
Yeah, it's back and forth with that one.
Okay. So that being said, I mean, and we had talked about this before, and I said, no, no, Nick, I don't want to talk about this unless we're recording because I want to hear and honestly and authentically react to this issue for the first time. But we've used it, and hey, man, check out the burr.
That's Joyce.
Nobody can
She
see that
loves
on
this thing.
Spotify, but
Oh,
aw. But anywho, there's a giant bear on Spotify that Dave just held up for no apparent reason. But
it's sitting next to me, and I see it in the corner of my screen. So
Jesus, this is ADHD
Sometimes you
thing.
hold the bear, and
squirrel.
sometimes the bear holds you.
Put it out. So, what? Explain to me the best. Thrill me with your acumen. What is critical race theory? What's
Bullshit.
okay? Dave says bullshit, and I know, like Nick, you thought you mean I know that you started to like wax poetically on your thoughts on it, but explain it to me and
Uh,
just let it rip so I can
I mean,
understand what
it's hard
critical
to.
race theory.
I mean, it's hard to
It's
explain. It's just
creating racism. That's what it's doing.
yeah. I mean, it's I mean, it comes from critical theory, which the whole idea of critical theory is that you take these long established schools of thought and just criticize them, and that's the whole thing. And so critical race theory is just like creating these uh, objections to how race is viewed, and it tries to act academic, but really it's just people creating these word salads to create justify their racism. Um, like they'll try to identify whiteness as a set of behaviors, this and that, and like they'll say everyone's oppressed under whiteness, but then they'll say that it's not the white race, it's whiteness as a concept. And so I mean, it's just a confusion of race confusion, academic race confusion,
Okay, so
and it's
this.
it's permeated at like all of academia, and it's to the point to where it's getting into grade schools and that kind of thing.
Okay, so this
Um,
is this is a dogma or doctrine that's being taught in the education machine.
yeah.
And from what I'm hearing, essentially, it is saying it's highly critical of people who are white. Is that
Yeah, I mean, you have people that have whole careers of just saying, white people are racist. Like, there's a big thing with the Coca-Cola company saying like whiteness is these certain traits. Like there was something that came out of the Smithsonian, um, and they were saying like whiteness is being on time and that shit like that. Like punctuality is whiteness, and that's oppressive. Like expecting people to be punctual. Like it's I mean it's just a cancer.
expecting people to
Uh,
be punctual is racist?
yeah,
Oh God.
yeah.
Only white people are.
Like that's a white trait. Is what they said.
What is white? Okay,
They
what
should
is
they should meet my ex. She's gonna be late to her own funeral
Yeah.
white?
that soon.
What is white?
They can't define it. It's anything that they don't like.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can have a darker skin tone and be white?
Yeah,
Okay.
they
Yeah,
they're actually arguing that. They're saying like white minorities, like white people or whatever, and it's just been developing. I mean, they'll call people white nationalists no matter what they look like. It's about the ideas.
Okay, so it really doesn't
Not
have anything to
yeah,
do with skin tone or culture or ethnicity. It's basically chess. It's a color code of
it's
ideology. It has nothing to do with where
yeah,
our genetic uh, lineage originated from. Because I don't. I mean, this is one thing I love about this new whole. I do identify. I don't. Some of it's silliness, but it's like
mm,
well, it's taken to the extreme. But that's cool, which means I could still utilize it because I don't identify as white or any other shade of a fucking color palette that you want to reduce me to.
yeah.
I don't
It's
identify as
all
that.
about identity. It's all about identity.
Okay.
That's what all this shit's about. Transgender stuff, all of it. They're assaulting people's identities at every level so that they can divide and conquer,
yep.
and dismantle our society.
Break everybody
It's
down into
a
the
general
smallest
idea.
well, atomization and individualistic, like break everybody into the smallest groups possible, kind of like isolated cells,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, makes sense. Yes. That's gloomy.
Yep. Yeah, we're
Okay.
in store for some bad shit coming up.
Well,
Mm.
it's kind of weird. I've been listening to a lot of Richard Grannon again lately, who I highly recommend, especially for people who are in any kind of recovery of anything whatsoever. It's kind of weird. Um, Before this season, me and Dylan, the whole last season was about recovery and healing and things like that. And shit, I know I went through my path, and it's so weird for me right now because I can honestly say that at this point in my life, after having done all that work last year and continuing it, that I am at the highest plane of well being, peace of mind, total zen, and complete communication and unity with what I consider to be divinity in my own experience right now. It's like I met, and I know that it goes more and more and more, but I look back on my existence here so far, and right now I'm at, the best place I've ever been, right?
A
So it's
good
like,
place to be.
God, it's great. God, it feels so great. And I hopefully, well, when Dave feels comfortable talking about his recent events in the past few months, we can, but hopefully I'm like leaving bread trails for other people who are coming out of trauma or addiction or codependency or narcissistic abuse or just what the fuck, but it's weird for me because I'm in this total zen place and just okay with accepting everything that it is, just grateful to be here. But then when I log into social media and see how the world is doing. It's mind-boggling to me right now because I'm like, guys, you know, you know what I mean? It's kind of heartbreaking and to peek in and like we were talking about with detracting from the internet a little bit. I don't know what it was, but something naturally told me because we all have to use it. I mean, now it's just
Yeah.
we have to use it. But something recently, kind of like a bird flying south for the winter, said, "Hey, you need to start incrementally reducing any kind of connectivity to the internet and only use it when absolutely necessary." And it just, thank God, it naturally, because I'm so disciplined with when I set my intention to something, I'm really disciplined about making it happen. And so naturally, and I have noticed my quality of life has just extremely shot up, and time has seemed to have slowed down to almost a snail's crawl to
Wow.
where you can really enjoy what's going on. But then it's weird because when every now and then, like we all do, because I keep Facebook restricted to the desktop. You know what I mean? I know what the dopamine is doing to us. But when I check into Facebook, it's like it's World War III.
Mhm.
But when I open my door, there's birds, chirping a few birds anyway, but it's peace out there. You know what I mean? So I've really heavily been thinking,
Yeah.
about how much our social media time. We all know what social media is, and we all know what it is. We know that it is deliberately a narcotic that is in the hands of one sociopath,
Yeah.
and we know we know what they're deliberately doing, but we still stay in it.
I mean, they've straight up told us,
I mean, right?
you know,
And
that
and
all emotional manipulation.
all
Oh,
of it.
well, just like you said about dating apps, what was it? 37%?
Oh yeah, which gets me off into a totally different topic
Yeah,
because I have
it's
ethical
the same shit
questions.
though.
Yeah,
Same
hang on.
shit, different topic.
Me being me. Uh, I've been celibate and single for quite some time. Had some goals to set, self improvement stuff, and then I was like, all right, well, let's see what the world looks like now. In that whole area of relationships and dating, and what is that? And oh, well, there's all these dating apps. And you already know. I mean, especially if you come from our generation, you already know it's like, oh boy, what kind of bullshittery is this? But everybody's on it, so you got to poke your head in there and see. And so, as a good scientist, you go, I'm going to be on these dating apps for this long and no longer, right? To see what this is, because I have to understand it.
Good call.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I don't know how long in it. Overall, quick judgment is completely useless if you actually ever want to have a meaningful relationship. In fact,
Yeah.
it's a detriment to you. It's a critical detriment. And so I experienced it for a while. Nothing ever came of it. I realized that this is basically the casino slot machines. Right? That's all it is. So then I was like, okay, so let me develop my thoughts on what this whole dating app situation is. And then after a while, I was like, okay, now let me get other people's points of view. So I went on YouTube for what I go on YouTube for, information and other points of view to see where I relate in my experience with others on an issue. And I started pulling up some documentaries about the evils of Tinder and what it's doing to male female relationships in society. And I start going, aha, because clearly there is a problem in male female relations in our world right now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's no way we're going to be able to tackle that entire subject. However, I think that if you're sniffing around the dating app area, you're getting pretty close to the root of the fucking problem, in my opinion. Because I can tell you within just a little bit of exposure, I can see how it is neurologically hardwired men and women of an entire generation to be relationship illiterate and fucking incompetent, and it has
Mm.
bled into the generations that even prior. You know what I mean? But yeah, so in some of these documentaries, I was like, all right, let me take a look at actually like it. There are so many different dating apps, but I think all but one, which is Bumble, is owned by the Match Group, which is
Mm-hmm.
the main owner of Tinder. So basically, it's all one big dating app, right?
Yep.
All of it, and it's literally designed I mean, it's a dopamine reception thing. It's a dopamine feedback loop, left, right. But the whole point is that stands out to me is that one, it creates the illusion of infinite choice. And with the illusion of infinite choice, you never choose, which is why, like, there is no female or male I know that understands and can fully implement the word commitment like my parents' generation.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just is what it is. Now relationships are based off of what the other person can do for the other person. Symbiotic, parasitic, not built on sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because of the illusion of infinite choice. But yeah, Dave, what you were talking about the percentages, and I was wrong. I think I was a little bit higher, but even the rating is high. From what this one documentary I said, and I might put the links in the boxes in the box places, but that the algorithms, for one, they deliberately flood. Like if you just open up an account, they'll flood your suggestions or your likes for the first few days to get the dopamine addiction or set the hook, and then they will deliberately hide your profile through algorithms so that you like have a sudden drop of dopamine, and then you start paying for the memberships, right?
Mhm.
So that
I'd
was
never heard that. That makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
yeah. So that was one evil little hook. The other was oh, what was it? The algorithms, even when you do get a match, obviously the scale from how many men to women is just insane. It's absolutely insane. There's like literally 8 guys
Oh
in the world that are getting like what Tinder is offering from Tinder. 8 guys, statistically. These 8 fucking guys are fucking up the entire, with Tinder. But
yeah.
but I think what this one researcher said was that even when you do get a match and you go on a date and you hit it off and you have a relationship, you have a 28% higher chance of it being a toxic relationship that will ultimately fail based on the algorithms. So even before you pick up the tab for the young lady, you're already at a 28% disadvantage. And we're not even talking about how many childhood traumas that she's got to work with, indicated by the tattoos all over her fucking body, or daddy issues, or, whatever the stories are. You know what I mean? You haven't even gotten there yet.
Yep.
You're already negative 28% in the hole. Okay. And so I was watching these things, and immediately as I'm watching these statistics, I'm deleting all these dating because I signed up for every dating app that you could just to kind of see, and it's all the same dating app. It really is. The colors are different,
Yeah.
the sounds are different, but it's one big monster, much like the Facebook thing. It's a other creature that, in my opinion, and then I'll stop talking, has fundamentally wounded to the point of near death the future relationships, healthy relationships between men and women for quite a few generations. And me and Dave have been discussing this a lot in our shoot the shit sessions. But I honestly believe that at this point, the only thing that could possibly revert homeostasis between male and female, yin and yang,
It's
and
got.
balance is an EMP. I mean,
That's
and
it.
Well, it's
I,
probably coming.
I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, and that's not even a joke. I have sat in long, deep meditation because I got nothing else here but imaginary friends with me than you guys, which I don't even know if you're real.
Yeah.
But I have really worked through this problem and how much gravity is already on it, and I go, there's only one way, and it's going to have to be the grid coming down ultimately to rebalance this masculine, feminine, you know, interrelationship, intersex thing that's happening on this planet.
So, I mean,
Unlimited choices.
a lot of people are kind of in self-inducing that anyways. Going back to nature, building their tiny houses and living in their vans.
Yeah, I don't blame
So,
them. I don't blame them, dude. I mean, I very much enjoy my little hobbit home, which it has its own carved in area of nature, to where nature's not always too far from me, and so I can kind of detach from all this stuff. But me and Dave were talking about earlier, Nick, and you tell me what you think. I believe that right now, I mean, there is a consciousness virus within the internet that is fucking people up, their well being,
Yeah.
And I mean, and I have a lot of theories, and we don't have time to go into them about why it's happening. I've been watching, other people who kind of look at things like I do and go, what we're actually experiencing is a collapse of our civilization. Richard Grannon was one of them. Like, it's
Mm.
happening. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it that it's happening. All of the institutions that our civilization were founded upon, religious, scientific, spiritual, health, mental, emotional, all the institutions, we all know they're bullshit and they're all collapsing. And so, what did
Well,
Richard?
they're being replaced by the internet. There's, everything that's because it's not all collapsing for everyone at the same time. People are having their religious crisis, and they replace it with something on the internet. Some dogma they find on the internet. Whether it's their sociology degree or Tinder or whatever crisis you're in, there's a solution on the internet. And
Yep.
to fill that void, pseudo fill the void.
Yeah. Yeah, but then see it, and it's crazy because who was it? It wasn't Grannon that I listened to. I think it was another guy I listened to who's into Gnosticism and everything. But he said that the reason people are freaking out and then coming to the internet and it's a feedback loop is because most people they build their ego or their own identity based on the institutions from which they derive. So
Mm-hmm.
you
Well,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
And so when those institutions start to crumble, people on an individual level are literally crumbling on the inside because they don't know who they are anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you have someone deliberately attacking people's identity at every level, religious and ethnic, uh, cultural identities, national identities, everything, it's all being attacked. And what are they going to do? They have to replace it with something. Yeah, that's probably where this mass psychosis comes from. A lot of people are getting their identity from, oh, I'm doing the right thing, wearing my mask and getting my vaccine and my booster and everything, and you're just becoming attack dogs for the state.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking forward to my trip to camp.
Yeah, I know. And I always say this in all seriousness. There's only two books that I've ever read that gave me nightmares. I mean, made me wake up in cold sweat, uttering lines from the chapter I had just read. One was Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is legitimately a creepy book. Literally is. But the other one was George Orwell's 1984. I would
Mm.
read. I would. It. Oh God, I'm a speed reader, and I could only digest one chapter at a time with that book. But I would wake up at 3:30 in the morning going, if there's any hope, it's in the proles. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Hate week.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, and then I look around, I'm looking around in our society and I'm like, wow, if you
Yep.
can't, he wrote that in 1948.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a manual.
Yeah, it's like they took Brave New World in 1984 and they said, here we go, let's do this shit,
Yeah,
let's make a baby. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Well, I think that's all the steam I got for tonight. But we should start like doing stuff like subscribe to us on things and all that. The other thing is we're going to be bringing Adam and Tiffany back on because there's some new news in their court case that we started talking about previously. Which is
Nice.
awesome. Did you guys got the newsletter, right?
Yep.
All right,
No.
cool. Check your promotions. Because we're sending all of the relevant Zen in the Car episodes to the Cannasense downline underneath all of us in the collective, so that they can stay
Okay.
informed. I mean, and if you did read it, Dave, I mean, basically, it's just like what we've been talking about tonight, which is everything is collapsing, and people like us. I mean, I know we don't. You can get to a point of despair and galvanization where you're like, well, there's no hope, so let I'm just going to become stagnant. But that's just not me. I'm like, yeah, I know it's all collapsing, but you can't freeze in the face of what's happening to our civilization. I don't think. I mean, I think that I have a responsibility to do something to help to make it better, whether it's acting like a goofball and making silly things like this, or doing what we're doing with Cannasense, or doing helping put some light on what's going on with Adam and the Native Americans, which I think is extremely important. Like their mission is really the solution for the insanity in this country, and you know that, Dave, right? So yeah, so it's kind of my agenda to put this out to the collective too, so that activism can evolve beyond political parties, and into more human goals of how we can get through all this stuff
Something
together.
real.
Yeah, something real, past the institutions and past the petty titles that don't mean a fucking thing if you don't own them. You know what I mean? It's easy to dodge ideological bullets when you don't identify at all. Everybody wants to identify. I choose to just not identify as any fucking thing. Whatever title you got, I am not it. I'm not it. It's like, let's start that movement. It's like they had the Me Too movement, the not it movement. I am not it.